faith-based story. Title: Unveiling Deceit, A Family's Faith, Betrayal, and Redemption. In a humble village nestled among rolling hills, the Johnson family lived a simple but content life. John and Mary Johnson were devout Christians who, despite their modest means, found strength and joy in their faith and the love they shared with their 5 children: Gotti, Sarah, Daniel, Ruth, and Samuel. The Johnsons were known throughout the village for their unwavering devotion to God and their strong family bond. John worked tirelessly as a carpenter, and Mary managed the household with grace and humility. Their faith was their cornerstone, and they taught their children the importance of relying on God in good times and bad. In the year 2000, tragedy struck the Johnson family. John, the father, developed severe vision problems due to a chronic eye condition. Doctors recommended surgery to save what little sight he had left. The family prayed fervently for a successful operation, but the surgery did not go as planned. John emerged from the operating room blind, and their world turned upside down. For a while, darkness engulfed their home and hearts. John's inability to work and provide for his family weighed heavily on him. Mary, the loving and devoted wife, had to shoulder the responsibility of being the sole breadwinner for the family. She took on various odd jobs, from cleaning houses to working as a seamstress, in an attempt to make ends meet. Their children rallied around their parents during this challenging time. The eldest son, Gotti, was a shining star in their family. He was exceptionally bright and had dreams of studying building and construction at the university. Despite the family's dire financial situation, Gotti's determination burned brightly. Gotti knew he had to find a way to pursue his dreams, and he refused to let financial obstacles deter him. He began to take on minor jobs in the village, such as repairing fences and helping neighbors with their construction projects. He also discovered a knack for graphic design and started printing greeting cards to sell to local shops and at church events. As Gotti worked tirelessly to support his education, his younger siblings contributed in their own ways. Sarah, the second-born, helped their mother with household chores and took on small jobs when she could. Daniel, the third-born, was the family's prayer warrior, and his faith was a beacon of hope during their darkest hours. Ruth and Samuel, the youngest in the family, were diligent in their studies and dreamed of following in their older brother's footsteps. Gotti's commitment and resilience did not go unnoticed. The community admired his determination, and his story spread far and wide. One fateful day, the village pastor shared Gotti's story with a kind-hearted benefactor, Mrs. Harrison, who had a passion for supporting education. Touched by Gotti's determination and faith, Mrs. Harrison offered him a scholarship to cover his tuition and living expenses for the rest of his university journey. Gotti's dreams were within reach, and he thanked God for the miraculous opportunity. During his time at university, Gotti continued to work part-time and diligently studied his course. He was grateful for the scholarship, but he also sent part of his earnings back home to support his family. The burden of providing for his younger siblings now rested on his shoulders. He knew that his parents' health issues made it impossible for them to work as they once did, but he faced this responsibility with unwavering faith. As Gotti excelled in his studies, he also continued to run his graphic design business. His income steadily grew, allowing him to save money for his future and for his family. With his savings, he opened a small canteen near the university campus, where he prepared and sold delicious meals. His canteen quickly became a favorite among the students, and business prospered. With God's guidance and the support of his loyal customers, Gotti expanded his canteen by purchasing a second shop next door. He now had 2 bustling canteens serving the community. The profits from his thriving business allowed him to comfortably cover his living expenses and tuition, leaving him with surplus funds to send home to his family. Back in their village, Mary saw Gotti's unwavering dedication to the family. She knew her son's efforts were providing not only for their immediate needs but also for the future. She often read from the Bible to find solace and strength, sharing verses of hope and trust in God with her children. Proverbs 3:5-6 became a guiding light for their family. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your understanding, in all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. As the years went by, the family's situation improved dramatically. Gotti successfully completed his studies, graduating with honors in building and construction. His 2 canteens continued to thrive, providing a steady source of income for his family back home. The Johnsons had indeed seen the fulfillment of Psalm 37:25, "I have been young, and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging for bread." In the twilight of her life, Mary watched her children grow into strong, compassionate, and faith-driven individuals. They had faced hardships with resilience and unwavering trust in God. Sarah became a nurse, caring for the sick and vulnerable. Daniel, the family's prayer warrior, felt a calling to become a pastor, sharing God's love and hope with others. Ruth became a dedicated teacher, molding the minds of the younger generation. Samuel, the youngest, followed in Gadi's footsteps, pursuing a degree in civil engineering. As Mary approached the end of her earthly journey, she felt a profound sense of gratitude for God's faithfulness. She often recalled the words of Romans 8:28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." The Johnson family had indeed witnessed God's faithfulness in the midst of adversity, and their faith had carried them through. With the blessings of a loving family and the prosperity of their business, Gadi continued to expand his canteens and gave back to the community in various ways. He regularly sponsored scholarships for less privileged students, knowing the impact of education on their lives. He also supported community development projects, constructing a playground for the children in their village and renovating the local church. One day, as Mary lay in her bed, surrounded by her children and grandchildren, she felt a sense of fulfillment and peace. She knew that her time on earth was drawing to a close, but her faith remained unshaken. She smiled as she whispered, "For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time for my departure is near. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." 2 Timothy 4:6-7. Mary Johnson, the matriarch of the Johnson family, passed away with the assurance that her family was bound together by faith, love, and the unwavering grace of God. Her legacy of faith, hard work, and perseverance lived on through her children and grandchildren, who continued to thrive in their individual endeavors and spread the message of God's love and providence. The Johnson family's journey was a testament to the power of faith, determination, and the unwavering support of family and community. Their story served as an inspiration to all who knew them, a living testament to the truth of Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." As time passed, the Johnson family faced new challenges and complexities. After the passing of their beloved matriarch, Mary Johnson, the responsibility of managing the two thriving canteens fell to her first daughter, Sarah. She had since married and had 4 children of her own, but she took on the task with the same dedication and faith that her mother had shown. The family continued to flourish, thanks to the businesses that Gadi had established. However, there came a time when the youngest of Mary's sons, Samuel, had a hidden agenda. Samuel was living with his wife and children in the family home, and he hatched a plan to secretly sell one of the canteens without the knowledge of his siblings. Samuel's intention was to sell the canteen and use the proceeds to improve his own family's living conditions. He believed that, given the financial success of the businesses, his actions would go unnoticed. But God's light shines on even the darkest secrets, and his intentions did not escape the watchful eyes of his sisters. When Samuel's plan was uncovered, his siblings confronted him about his deceitful actions. They insisted that he produce the documents for the shop to prove ownership. Samuel, however, stubbornly refused and claimed that the documents had been lost. He maintained his innocence despite the growing suspicion within the family. The situation became increasingly tense, leading the sisters to take legal action. They sought an affidavit to declare the documents as lost, a legal process that they believed would help them regain control of the shop. In their minds, they were trying to protect the family's assets and maintain the legacy their parents had built. As the family grappled with the legal proceedings, a shocking twist occurred within their ranks. The eldest sister, Sarah, who had been entrusted with the vital responsibility of changing the ownership of the shop to Gadi, had been harboring a dark secret. Instead of transferring the ownership to their first son, she used the name of her own son for the shop's documents. Sarah believed that she could keep this hidden and secure the canteen for her own family, which she justified as a means of securing her children's future. This deception came as a devastating betrayal to the entire family. Sarah's actions were not only a breach of trust but also a direct violation of the family's core values of honesty, faith, and love. She resorted to shouting and insults each time the issue was raised, attempting to deter any further discussion and maintain her own deceitful hold on the shop. However, little did Sarah know that her actions, hidden from human eyes, were not concealed from the omniscient gaze of the Almighty. God, who sees all and knows all, saw the deceit, betrayal, and the pain it caused within the family. Eventually, Sarah's deceit was uncovered, as God's providence would have it. The truth came to light through a series of events that Sarah could not control. Her actions were exposed, and her family was left hurt, angry, and deeply disappointed. The consequences of her actions led to her isolation from the family, as they could no longer trust her. The story of the Johnson family serves as a powerful moral lesson for all. It illustrates the consequences of deceit, betrayal, and the erosion of trust within a family bound by faith and love. While it is natural for families to face challenges and disagreements, the family's core values should always guide their actions. The Johnson family's journey, marked by hardship, faith, and ultimate success, also underscores the importance of integrity, honesty, and transparency in family relationships. They learn that, in the end, no secret can be hidden from God's watchful eye. The story serves as a reminder that, even in the face of deceit and betrayal, forgiveness and the power of faith can ultimately heal and restore broken bonds. As the Johnson family moved forward, they found strength in their shared faith and continued to uphold the values their parents had instilled in them. They learned that honesty and trust are the cornerstones of a loving and united family, and they prayed for the strength to forgive and move beyond the painful chapter in their family's history.